Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamaya Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram. So today we will continue on Narada Bhakti Sutra. We are starting a new chapter, chapter 7, section 1, the glory of the path, Sutra 67. Bhaktaha, Bhaktaha, Ekantinaha, Ekantinaha, Mukhyaha, Mukhyaha, Bhaktaha, the devotees, Ekantinaha, whose only goal, whose one and only goal is Lord Himself, whose single-pointed devotion towards the Lord is for its own sake, they are the primary, they're the best kinds of devotees. So who is the best kind of devotees? Ekantinaha. Ekantinaha, which means that their goal is Bhagavan. There are two different kinds of people. One is the one who has infinite goals. So the world is, there's so much to pursue in the world. There's wealth, there's family, there's social status, so many goals. They're all so spread out. So one who has infinite goals, but the other one who has the infinite as their goal. And that is the Bhakta, one whose whole life is centered on Bhagavan, and all actions, all activities, transactions are just to be close, to recognize, to realize Bhagavan. So all actions, words, thoughts, deeds, everything is centered in Bhagavan. So number one, the goal is Bhagavan, and number two, also the means is Bhagavan. So sometimes our goal is very different from our means. So there's a person, let's say, who has a goal of starting a career in music. But what are they doing? They're starting a retail business instead. So I have a goal, I want to be a great singer, a career in music, but I'm starting a retail business. So my means is here, my goal is here. Definitely, I will never reach my goal. There are some also who want to get married, who want to meet somebody. That is their goal. But they're not going out to meet anybody, nor are they speaking to anybody. They're just keeping everything to themselves. So therefore, what will happen? They're not going to meet someone. So sometimes in life, what happens is our goal is here, but we're doing something completely different. So if our goal is Bhagavan, then the means is to spiritualize life, to spiritualize every single action, thought, word, deed, so that I'm always aiming to go to Bhagavan. This is a very primary kind of devotee, whose means is Bhagavan, whose goal is Bhagavan, and also whose ashraya is Bhagavan, whose refuge is Bhagavan. When we feel down and out, what is our refuge? Some of us overeat. We'll get a whole tub of ice cream, or chocolate, or pizza, and we'll just eat and eat and eat and eat because it fills us up some way. So for some people, whenever they're down and out, eat. For some people, shop, just go out and buy things. For some people, just be with friends. Be with friends because we want to keep our minds away from it. Others will binge watch, just keep watching things. But the bhakta's place of refuge is always Bhagavan. Okay, today maybe I'm down and out, but let me connect with Bhagavan, because Bhagavan is my refuge, is my go-to, is my rock. And whether I'm in my highs or lows, I will always come back to Bhagavan. This is my solution to every single issue that I have. That is a bhakta, a true bhakta, whose solution, whose refuge, whose ashraya is Bhagavan. Also, where does the mind revel when the mind has nothing to do? So if we're sitting in a car ride or in a subway and the mind has nothing to do, where does it go? For this mukhya bhakta, primary bhakta, it goes to Bhagavan, because the mind is drawn to what it's attracted to. So if it's attracted to a certain kind of person, music, language, book, it will go towards that. But this bhakta's mind is attracted to Bhagavan, so revels in Bhagavan. So ekantinaha is one whose means is Bhagavan, goal is Bhagavan, whose ashraya, whose refuge is Bhagavan, whose reveling is also in Bhagavan. Ekantinaha. And how do they express their bhakti? Sutra 68. Kantavarodha, Kantavarodha, Romancha Shubhihi, Romancha Shubhihi, Parasparam Lapamanaha, Parasparam Lapamanaha, Pavayanti, Pavayanti, Hulani Prithivim cha, Hulani Prithivim cha. Kantha avarodha. Kantha avarodha means their throat. Kantha avarodha is choked. Romancha means their hairs are standing on end. Ashrubhihi, with tears. So with tears, with a choked throat, with hair standing on the end. Parasparam lapamana, conversing with each other in broken words. Pavayanti kulani pratavimcha. They purify families, ancestors, and even this earth. So when these bhaktas, with throats choked with emotion, body covered with herpelation, and tears flowing down, converse with each other in broken words, they sanctify their family and tribe. Nay, the very earth itself they come to glorify. These bhaktas, they express their love for Bhagavan. In Bhagavatam, Sri Krishna says his devotees are nirlaja, means they have no shame, they're not shy about expressing their love to Bhagavan. All of a sudden, when it comes to bhakti, we feel shy, we feel ashamed. So we don't want to sing, we become so stiff, we don't want to share anything, so reserved. But when it comes to anger, we just let everything out. We scream, we yell, we curse, we do everything when it comes to anger. When it comes to something we desire, we drive everyone crazy to get that thing that we desire. But when it comes to love for Bhagavan, all of a sudden we feel shy. These bhaktas, they don't feel shy. They express their love to Bhagavan, and be it, they cry. If tears come, let them come. Let them come, because they're tears of longing for Bhagavan. If their hairs are standing on end, let it happen, because they feel Bhagavan. And if their throat is choked, it's okay, because it's all for Bhagavan. So in and through their emotions, all they feel, they see, they hear is Bhagavan. And when they speak to each other, they purify the whole world, the people around them. There's an enormous power in love. And sometimes we can't explain it, not only in the saints and sages' life, but even in our lives. This is a true story. There was a mother and a father. They were parents, and they had some 2-3 children. And again, the mother was pregnant, and she was going to have twins. Now what happened is she gave birth early. After 25 weeks, she gave birth. And her twins came out, and one of them was okay, but the other one was very sickly. So the one that was okay, he was cared for and he was able to go home. But the other one who was sickly, he was losing weight and he had to be put in a ventilator. And they were very, very concerned about him. So the mother went to the hospital every day to hold him close to her heart, just to be with him and to feel him. But yet he was still very sickly. And it came to the point that the doctor said, you know what? Your son, he's going to have to go. We're not able to keep him anymore. And of course, that broke her heart. She didn't know what to do. And so she took her other son, the healthier one, the healthier twin. She said, I want him to see his twin before his twin passes on, because twins have a very special bond with each other. And so she brings the twin, the healthy one, with, to the other twin, and she puts him right beside him so that they can say their goodbye. And what happened? The healthy twin, he put his arm around his sick brother. And within 5 minutes, his sick brother was fine. Breathing was fine, health was fine, color in his skin changed, and everyone was wondering what happened. Nobody could explain it. And when the healthy brother went home, again he became sick. So what the mother did is she kept bringing her the healthier twin. She kept putting him beside the sick brother. She kept them beside each other. She kept them like that, spending time with each other. And in due course of time, the sickly twin, he became much healthier. And they were able to take him out of the ventilator. And all of the doctors were puzzled. They couldn't explain this power of love. What a beautiful thing. Just his brother put his arm around him. That's all. And he was completely fine. So this is what happens with bhaktas, with people who have such pure love. They purify their families, they purify the earth, they purify everything. And they are just themselves, completely themselves, not holding anything back in terms of expressing their love for Bhagavan. Now, how exactly do they purify this world? Here is the next Sutra, 69. Tirthi kurvanti, tirthi kurvanti, tirthani, tirthani, sukarmi kurvanti, sukarmi kurvanti, karmani, karmani, satshastri kurvanti, satshastri kurvanti, shastrani, shastrani, tirthani, the places of pilgrimage, tirthi kurvanti, they enhance the sanctity of the places of pilgrimage. Karmani, those karmas that are very good, sukarmi kurvanti, they make them better. They add glory to all actions. Sat shastri kurvanti shastrani, to scriptures, to shastras. Sat shastri, they lend an authority, a compelling authority to scriptures. So what do? They sanctify the sacred places of pilgrimage. They add glory to actions and lend authority to scriptures. So here we see that when we have one Mahatma, how beautiful it is. So first of all, Tirtha. Tirtha means pilgrimage. It's also the water that we get when we go to a temple after we worship. Tirtha. What does Tirtha mean? Tarati anena iti Tirtha. That by which we cross this ocean of samsara is called Tirtha. And there are 4 kinds of Tirthas. One is what we call Sthavara Tirtha, where we go to a pilgrimage, we go on a pilgrimage to a stationary place. So a stationary temple, an ashram, a shrine. We go to these places and they're stationary. Then there is Jangama Tirtha. These are moving places of pilgrimage, our saints and sages. Because wherever they go, it is like being on a pilgrimage with them. They have so much positivity and beauty to share. Then the third one is Manasika Tirtha, where we in our minds create a pilgrimage as though we are going to meet Bhagavan. When we do our dhyana, our japa, etc., we create a pilgrimage. And the fourth kind is Swatma Tirtha. Our own self is a place of pilgrimage, as we've seen in Atma Bodha. So one point is that these saints and sages themselves are moving places of pilgrimage. So wherever they are, visiting them, spending time with them is going on Tirtha. The second point is that wherever they settle, that becomes Tirtha Kshetra. So if we look at the life of Puja Gurudev, he went to Siddhabhari. In Siddhabhari, and he found some land there. He said, okay, let's build. And it was just a bare piece of land. But before we knew it, one big Hanumanji came because there was so much wind there. They weren't sure if they could build. So Gurudev said, let's have Vayu's putra, Vayu's son, come, Hanumanji. Then there is a nice temple for Sri Rama and Sita Devi. And then there's facilities, a whole ashram came up for people to come stay, to work. A Vedanta course in Hindi was run. And then Chinmaya Organization for Rural Development, providing counseling and support for women to help them have an independent livelihood, providing assistance to farmers, providing care for children with special needs. All of these things just came up. One Mahatma settles there, spends time there, and the whole place becomes a Tirtha Kshetra. Everything about that place becomes a Tirtha. So where a Mahatma is, this happens. The same, of course, Puja Gurudev was inspired by Swami Shivananda Ji Maharaj. He settled in Rishikesh and the whole Divine Life Society came. Not only that, but the third point is they also help us uncover tirthas. So in Velianath in Kerala is Adi Shankaracharyaji's maternal home. Years ago, they were going to sell that home. They were going to sell it just to anybody. And Puja Gurudev said, no, we will acquire it because it's Adi Shankaracharyaji's maternal home. And he talked about Adi Shankaracharyaji, the glory of him, his life story, and he worked so that we could acquire that property and preserve it to its sanctity, so that today we can connect with Adi Shankaracharya. Now, if he didn't do this, we wouldn't have known. We wouldn't even have known about that tirtha. So not only are they moving tirthas, not only where they settle, it becomes a tirtha, but also they help us to uncover and discover tirthas. And finally, all of the tirthas pray for the footsteps of these Mahatmas. And so in this way, they sanctify sacred place. Sukarmi kurvanti karmani. When we do an action, how do we do it? Sometimes outwardly, it looks good. We're cooking for people, we're helping people, we're working in our office. Looks good, but sometimes our intentions are not. But when we see a Mahatma, their intentions are so pure. Is it really possible to interact with someone without thinking, what am I going to get from that person? What am I going to get? What can they give me? How can this relationship be useful? These are the kinds of things that we think about when we meet other people, when we are with other people. But a Mahatma, no. A Mahatma is only looking at us and saying, how can this jiva evolve to realize the divinity in them? And out of that purity is their karma. So we can rest assured that around a Mahatma, they're always thinking for our welfare. They're not thinking for their selfish motive. Also, a Mahatma does karma so beautifully, so nicely, with so much finesse. If we look at Puja Gurudev, how he folded a letter, how he put it in an envelope, signed, and how he wrote the address, how he sealed it. Everything was so proper, so clean, so neat. But nowadays, we just have everything all over the place. Everything is so scattered. And when we do something, we're so unmindful. So these Mahatmas, when we look at the way they do karma, we also become more mindful and see that there's a really great way to act. There's a dynamic way to act with keeping stillness inside. Then we have Sat Shastri Kurvanti Shastrani. So here, our Shastras, if we look at our Shastras, they're so deep. They're so deep. And what happens is when we read something like the Upanishads, it's very clear. Tattvamasi, you are that. Or it says, Tarati Shokam Atmavit, the one who knows the self crosses sorrow. Or it also says, Tatra ko mohaha kashokaha, for the one who sees the truth in everyone. Where is moha? Where is delusion? Where is shoka? Where is grief? And so the Upanishads give us the pristine, deep message of our scriptures. And then when we move on to our itihasas, like Ramayana and Mahabharata or Puranas, we see these things dramatized in story. Then it kind of makes sense a little bit more. It's able to capture us a little bit more, because now it's not just words, but there's a little bit of a drama involved. But when we see this live, then it really touches our heart. It's like when we hear our favorite musician, an MP3, just the sound. We can feel the music. And then the next stage is we can watch a YouTube video, or read about them, watch their interviews. And that's even cooler to connect. But when we see that musician in concert, live, then romancha, our hairs stand on edge, our throats choked, and sometimes we even cry and scream and yell. In the same way, when that bhakta, that Mahatma, when we see that Mahatma, it is like the living version of Shastra. It is like Shastra has taken life. And Sri Krishna also says that I now will stay in Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is actually Sakshat Sri Krishna. So before, our sadhus, sants, Mahatmas, they were protected by Shastra. So they would follow all the injunctions of Shastra, live under the guidelines of Shastra. But now Shastra is protected by them. Shastra is protected by them because Shastra feels like you are a living example of my words. And you are proof that people can actually live this Shastra. The Bhaktas are proof that people can realize this truth, can be one with Bhagavan, can experience utter peace and live in bliss. The Bhaktas are living proof of the words in Shastra. And so that way we say Sat Shastri Shastrani. Sat Shastri Kurvanti Shastrani. So they sanctify the tirthas. They show us what good karma looks like. They bring our shastras to life. And why is this? Because we go to the next sutra, Sutra 70. Tanmayaha, Tanmayaha. Tat means Bhagavan. Mayaha. They are full of Bhagavan. So with a bhakta, they're completely absorbed in Bhagavan. We, for some reason, always want to keep a part for ourselves. We like to give, but we like to hold back. So I'll give some of my time, but the rest I need my own space. Or I'll give this much money, but the rest, I have to keep for myself. And I mean, okay, this is practical in day-to-day living. But with a bhakta, it is just that I give myself. Nothing, there's no me anymore. Tat maya. I am Bhagavan's. I am one with Bhagavan. In fact, in one of the commentaries I was reading, this word me, in Hindi, my, me is me. And it said that me is only for sheep, it's for goat, and it's for Maya. Me is not for a human being. Me is not for a bhakta. So that Maya, that bhakta, has become so much one with Bhagavan that there's no me anymore. There's no me. So I heard something very beautiful before. From me, we go to he or she. And from that, we come to be. These bhaktas, so much that Bhagavan actually shines through them. And they are called Nitya Avataras. So avatars or incarnations of Bhagavan are many, many fold. We have some which is Purna Avatara. Purna Avatara means it manifests all the kalas, all the 16 parts of Bhagavan. Like they say Sri Rama or Sri Krishna. Then some are Avesha Avatara, like Narasimha Bhagavan. Just come and enter. Some are Amsha Avatara, part Avatara, like Matsya, the fish, Varaha, the boar, etc. But there are some which are called Nitya Avatara, Sadhu, Sants, Mahatmas, where Bhagavan is ever residing. Now don't think Bhagavan is not in us also. Bhagavan is very much there, but we haven't uncovered him yet. Like the Mahatmas, unlike the Mahatmas, the Sadhus and Sants, they have uncovered, they have removed all of this ego, this pride, this vanity, this fear. They have removed all of that. And therefore, for them, Bhagavan is able to fully shine. But maybe for us, Not to that extent yet. So this is the glory of such great bhaktas. More we will take up next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.